Season 4, Episode 1 just broke the rules of the show because this isn't chaos anymore, it's a pattern. Events are repeating. Wins don't stick, and something is enforcing how this all plays out. Julie appears in a moment that already happened. Boyd realizes the game is rigged, and the man in yellow isn't just a monster, he's hiding in plain sight. This isn't just survival, this is a system. So are they trapped in a story, a game, or a cycle that keeps repeating? So today I'm analyzing 5 clues that you probably missed that expose what's really going on in Fromville. And I'll also be discussing some unanswered questions that I have after watching this episode. But before I get started, let me introduce myself if you're new here. And if you're not new here, then welcome back. My name is Brandy. And I realize that you could be on any channel in the world, but you're right here with me. And I really do appreciate that. So please go ahead and like this video. It really does help the channel out, and I greatly appreciate it. And also subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy watching TV show reviews. Now, this episode was outstanding. In my opinion, this is easily in the top 5 episodes of From that I enjoyed. The only downside is that Jade didn't get enough screen time, and he is my absolute favorite character. But what made up for that is the amount of clues that were packed inside this one episode. And if you're anything like me, you're always asking yourself 3 main questions when you're watching From. Why were these people chosen? What exactly is Fromville, and how do they escape? And with that being said, let's jump right into clue number 1. Now, clue number 1 occurred right in the opening act, where we see that Julie isn't in the same version of the story. A lot of people have suggested, and I agree that it's a strong possibility, that Fromville is designed like a children's book. The monsters have a simple, almost elementary element to them. I mean, they aren't scary at all, in my opinion. And the town itself, with its basic setups like a post office and a diner, it feels intentionally childlike. So let's start with this opening scene, because it's not just emotional, it's a massive clue. We see Julie watching her father Jim die, trying to stop something that already happened. And then the man in yellow says to her,
"When did you come from this time? Didn't anyone tell you? There's no way to change a story once it's been told."
And we know that Ethan told Julie the same thing. It's like the man in yellow is almost annoyed by continuously seeing Julie. And note that he said not, "Why are you here?" He said, "When did you come from?" When. So that tells us that Julie isn't just late, but that she's out of place. I mean, look at her. She has shorter hair. She has on different clothes. And she even has some scratches on the side of her face. This is a version of Julie that has been through more. A Julie from a different chapter. And we already know that she's a story walker. She can move between moments, but she cannot change what's already been written. So what's really happening here? It's as if Julie is jumping into a moment that's already been finalized, like flipping back to a page in a book. And the man in yellow, he seems to be the enforcer of the narrative, not the author per se, but he is making sure that he enforces the rule that the story does not change. But here's the kicker. Right after we see Julie trying to save her dad, we see a scene where Julie doesn't even remember that she story walked. She's asking her mom, Tabitha, where is daddy at? Where is Jim? She has no memory whatsoever of story walking. So this must mean that we're watching 2 Julies. We have one Julie that knows the story, and we have one who's living it for the first time. They're not replacing each other, they're simply overlapping. So what's the big picture here? If Julie could enter into chapters that were already written, then the whole premise of From might be that it's a fixed story with locked outcomes. And that means that some events like Jim's death were always going to happen. It means that the residents have choices but still hit the same endings. And it could also mean that something is making sure that everything stays on track. So this theory may shape the way that we view From going forward. It might not be a mystery that they escape. It might be a story that they're trapped inside of. And if Julie can't change what's already been told, then the real question is, can anyone change the ending before it's been written? And the intro song has been telling us this all along. Whatever will be, will be. It seems as if they can't change anything going forward. But when I asked myself, how do you escape from a story? I did think of one thing that always has been odd to me and I'm sure it's been odd to all of you as well. I think it's so odd how nobody really talks to each other collectively. They don't share notes with each other. We see it on this episode too, where Tabitha doesn't even want to talk to Jade about her visions. One solution I will offer these characters, if I could, is to rewrite the story together. We see that Julie, she can't change the story singularly, but what if they were all very unified? I really think that they could rewrite the story together. So if Julie is jumping into moments that are already written, then what Boyd realizes next starts to make a lot more sense, which brings us to clue number 2. Boyd's realization that the game is rigged. Now, I had to pay close attention to my boy Boyd on this episode because he wasn't just grieving, he was recognizing a pattern. After they finally kill one of the monsters, something that should have been a breakthrough, the monster comes back, reincarnated, reset, like nothing they did actually mattered. And by Smiley returning, I think that really almost broke Boyd. Listen to what he's saying in this episode. He kept saying things like, we had one win, one victory. He says, the only thing that gets me out of bed is that maybe we can beat this place. And he even tells Donna,
Just like you said, the game's rigged.
Just a lot of references to the word game and winning. And that's not random dialogue, that's perspective. Boyd isn't just calling it a game metaphorically. He's starting to realize that they're in a system where wins don't stick. Every time they gain ground, the board resets. They kill the monster, it comes back. They find hope, it gets taken. They push forward and something pulls them back. That's not just chaos, that's design. And this clue right here points to several different theories. Most obviously the game theory, but it also points to the simulation theory and also the repeating cycles theory as well. But let's focus on the theory of what if from is a game. If this is a game, then the monsters are respawning enemies. The town is a closed map with rules, and the residents are players, but they're not in control. And if this is a game, then Boyd just figured out the worst part. The game might be unwinnable as it's currently being played, and that's why he's counting bullets. That's why he's talking about how we leave. Because if the system keeps resetting their victories, then survival isn't about winning anymore. It's about understanding the rules well enough to break them. And clue number 3 is the number 47. When Boyd asks Kenny for a head count, meaning how many people are in From at this time, Kenny reluctantly replies 47 people. And that number feels precise for a reason, because in this episode, we see something subtle but huge. When a new car arrives, Victor, he starts counting on his fingers. Did any of you guys notice that when he was standing near Ethan, he started counting his fingers? And then Victor gently put his hand on Ethan's shoulder as if he realized that Jim may be dead. And Victor doesn't say it out loud, but he understands something important. If new people are arriving, then someone must have died. And we just lost Jim to the man in yellow. So that means that the number 47 isn't random, it's balanced. People just don't come and go out of Fromville, they're being replaced. So what does the number 47 actually represent? It could represent a fixed population. New players enter while the old ones are removed, but the total always stays around the same, because right now I'm not sure if it's exactly 47 or if it's 46 because the pastor died at the end of this episode. So anyway, the number stays about the same. But also, what's the deeper meaning of the number 47? I looked it up, and in numerology, 47 does have a deeper meaning. It's tied to relationships, building strong foundations, teamwork, and connections, which is wild in a place where people constantly are hiding information, staying divided, and failing to work together. It goes back to the solution I mentioned, that in order for them to escape Fromville, everybody needs to unify, share information in order to break the rules and escape. And we've also seen the number 47 in other scenes in From too. But it's almost like the number 47 itself is the solution for them to escape Fromville. And clue number 4 is crucial. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this one and understand what are the writers trying to tell us. So there's a quiet line in this episode that might be one of the biggest clues of them all. Sophia tells Kenny,
"The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness shall not overcome it."
Now, at first, this line sounds pretty hopeful. It sounds comforting even, like a promise that good will win. But now we know the truth, that Sophia is the man in yellow. The same entity that just killed Jim is the one talking about light. Now, pair that with the license plate of the pastor's car. And we all know that the pastor is the one that brought Sophie into Fromville. The plate says stars fell on Alabama. And if you're a real From fan, then you know that stars have been a theme through and through From. But the stars here are a direct reference to something falling from the sky, something bright, something that looks like light entering the darkness. So what are we really being told here? Are we told that the light is not good in this story? It makes me think back to the lighthouse as well. Was the lighthouse a good thing or a bad thing? And it's deep, right? Because if you really think about stars and their purpose and what they do, you know, you could tie that right into Sophie. Stars are distant light sources. They guide, but they're also unreachable. And when they fall, it's usually something unnatural, disruptive, even catastrophic. And when you think about that in connection with Sophie, she speaks like a guide, like she's offering the people hope. And I'm even predicting that that is going to be her angle here at From. We hear that the man in yellow, he kept saying that this is my favorite part coming up. And I think that Sophie is really going to divide the townspeople through religion. So if Sophie or the man in yellow is affiliated with light, then this isn't a simple good versus evil story. It's something much more twisted. It's as if the force that shines in the darkness might actually be the force that's keeping them trapped inside of it. And clue number 5 is when Jade, in my opinion, recognizes Sophia. Watch Jade closely when he first sees Sophia. The camera lingers on him just a nanosecond too long. He pauses, his eyes widen, and it's as if something just clicks for him. And that's not curiosity to me, that's recognition. And here's why that matters, because in season 3, we learned that Jade is a reincarnation from previous cycles, meaning parts of him may remember things even if he doesn't fully understand why. So when he sees Sophia, who we now know is the man in yellow, now he might not recognize Sophia for Sophia, but somehow, some way, I think that he's recognizing the entity behind Sophia, which is so odd because if you compare that to Tabitha's interaction with Sophia, she didn't seem to recognize Sophia whatsoever. And we know that Tabitha is a reincarnation from past cycles as well. So I'm curious to see how Jade will interact with Sophia. And will Jade be the one that realizes that Sophia is the man in yellow? I don't know, but it was something about the camera lingering on Jade just a little bit too long when he first saw Sophia that just has my spidey senses tingling. Now let's dig into questions that I have after watching this episode. My first question that I am dying to know is who is behind the whole poltergeist activity? We see that in the Matthews household that the cabinets are being slammed, the pot of soup was thrown on the floor, and the book was thrown at the wall. I'm wondering, A, is that Jim, or B, is that Julie? I believe I heard Julie mention in a previous episode that when Jim gets anxious, that he starts moving around and fidgeting with things in the kitchen. So my primary answer is that is Jim. Jim is coming back and he seems angry, right? The way he was moving things around, if that is Jim, that is. Or could that be Julie from another chapter and maybe we can't see her because the real Julie is present? I don't know, but I'm thinking more along the lines of that's Jim, but I can't wait to see how this ghost is going to terrorize the Matthews. Next question, did the man in yellow ever shapeshift into Sophia in past cycles? That was so interesting to me, how he opened a suitcase and Sophia's clothes were neatly laid in there. And also those clothes seem like they were from maybe the 1950s or the 1960s. They were really outdated. So it just makes me think maybe he shapeshifted into Sophia before, and it also makes me think, who is the real Sophia? And if he wants, can Sophia still exist and Man in Yellow just goes back into the woods to be the Man in Yellow? And can Sophia just stand alone? I have so many questions about the Man in Yellow's powers overall. Next question, is Jim really dead? I mean, I sat there, I watched it with my own eyes, I believe, Jim taking his last breath. But something in me doesn't want to believe that Jim is gone. It doesn't feel final for me. Are we going to see Jim on a different timeline somehow? How are we going to see Jim again? In fact, I think I saw Jim on a trailer. So just curious to know if Jim really is dead. And unpopular opinion, I know a lot of people don't like Jim, but I actually was really fond of Jim. I thought he was clever. I thought he was always trying to figure out a way from, and he had a lot of hope inside of him. So I cannot wait to see his family's reaction to his death, and also the townspeople as well. And last question, is the Man in Yellow really like the ultimate entity? Is who's been pulling the strings? Is he the ruler of From? I really get the feeling that he's not. He doesn't give like big boss energy. He seems to be like the henchman or the middleman. But nonetheless, guys, as always, let me know your theories down below as well. I have so many theories and suspicions. I don't want to seem like a crazy lady and tell you guys all of my theories and suspicions, but I don't know what my number one running theory with the most traction is right now. It seems to be the whole children's book theory, but I also still think that they are in a simulation somehow. But oftentimes in real life, I think that we're in a simulation too, but I don't want to get that deep again because I could really get a little bit crazy. But nonetheless, guys, as always, let me know your theories down below, what clues you notice, what any little details or symbolism. Let me know down below because I am trying to crack the case. But at the same time, I'm enjoying the mystery of it all too. And I don't really care like when this show ends, season 5, if we don't get all the answers, because some of the allure, well, most of the allure of the show is just a whole guessing game, right? Or is that only me? But nonetheless, guys, comment down a green heart below if you made it this far. I love you all. I will see you on my next From analysis. Until then, y'all stay safe out there. Peace.